I never imagined one evening could turn my entire world upside down, but that party did exactly that. My wife, Laura, had always been fiery, unpredictable in the kind of way that could make you laugh one moment and leave you rubbing your temples the next. I knew her temper. I knew her moods. But never in my life did I expect she would cross a boundary like this, and certainly not in front of a room full of people beneath bright, merciless lights. It began with something small. I had asked if we could step outside for a minute, away from the noise, just to talk. But Laura, already irritated by something a friend had said, snapped. And without the slightest warning, her hand lashed across my face. A slap, sharp, humiliating, and jarringly intense. The room fell silent for a single, suffocating beat. Every head turned. Every conversation died mid-sentence. My cheeks stung, but deeper than that, something inside me went still. It wasn't fear, nothing close to it. It was a quiet, composed stillness, the kind that settles right before everything changes. I didn't move. I didn't shout. I didn't respond the way anyone might have assumed I would. My eyes locked onto hers, steady and unmoving. The silence thickened, swallowing the air. I caught her friends whispering, glancing our way, feeling the tension coil around them. Laura's eyes widened just a fraction, a flash of shock that someone could meet her outburst without panic, without rage, only with complete awareness. I'd spent years studying people, reading their instincts, their tells, their impulses. And in that instant, something became painfully clear. That slap wasn't just anger. It was a test, a boundary she wasn't sure I'd enforce. And I had a choice. I could explode and meet her fury with my own, or I could let the moment reveal exactly what she'd done. I chose silence. The party slowly resumed, laughter and music trickling back like nothing had happened. But for Laura, everything had shifted. I didn't break eye contact. I didn't look away. I just waited, and as I did, I saw the panic creeping in, a dawning horror that this wouldn't be ignored, brushed aside, or forgiven with a quick apology. Her expression told me everything. She understood, and she feared the consequences. That night became the axis of our marriage. As the hours went on, her shock only grew. She moved through the room carefully, her gaze skimming away from mine, her laughter strained and hollow. I stayed composed, watching her like an observer behind glass. Every nervous glance, every tremor in her hands, every careful step revealed the truth. She realized, finally, that I wasn't someone she could push, manipulate, or shame. Eventually, she approached me, trying to mask the tremble in her voice. I didn't mean to, she started, guilt weighing heavily on her words. I shut it down immediately. Save it, Laura. Actions speak louder than anything you could say. The party continued humming around us, but for us, the world had narrowed to one defining moment. I'd always believed that respect can't be demanded. It has to be earned. And when someone publicly humiliates you, the damage doesn't disappear with a few soft words. She had crossed that line in front of witnesses, and whether she understood it or not, the power dynamic had shifted. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't lash out. I let the silence do the work. My steady stare unraveled her completely. The bravado she'd held on to for years melted under the weight of that calm, unshaken look. Minutes stretched like hours before she finally broke. Her composure crumbled, and she sank to her knees in a gesture that was almost dramatic, hands clasped together as if begging for air. Please? I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'll do anything to fix this, she whispered, voice splintering with fear and guilt. The entire room seemed to freeze again, watching the scene unfold like a slow-motion confession. And in that moment, I understood something vital. Real power doesn't come from anger or retaliation. It comes from control, from choosing restraint and letting someone fully recognize the weight of their own mistakes. She had believed she could humiliate me, test my limits, and walk away unscathed. But now she knew better. Some lines demand acknowledgement the moment they're crossed. I didn't lift her up. I didn't give comfort. I didn't soften the blow. I simply let her kneel there, letting reality settle around her like a heavy coat she could no longer shrug off. Her knees on that floor were more than position. They were a reflection of the imbalance she created, the boundary she'd stepped over, the respect she'd taken for granted. And it revealed something essential. Trust is fragile. Once broken, it demands recognition before healing can even begin. At last, I spoke, my voice steady, not harsh. Get up, think about what this means, and understand this clearly. If anything like this happens again, there won't be a pause. There won't be a second chance. Some actions can't be undone with words. She rose slowly, stiff and pale, burdened by guilt and a new awareness. The party continued around us, but everything had changed. I had shown strength not through force but through presence, calm, unwavering, undeniable. Laura would never forget this night. The slap, the stare, the moment she fell to her knees. And neither would I, because I learned something too. Real authority is quiet. It's patient. It's the firm line drawn without shouting or aggression. Just clarity. As I walked back into the flow of the party, one truth settled into place. When someone crosses a line that deep, the mark it leaves never fully fades. And within that mark lies the power to demand respect, enforce consequences, and reshape a relationship. If not rebuild it, then redefine it entirely.